Salutations everyone, this is Razor bringing you guys another Overwatch 2 video where today we're going to be talking about something I did not expect to be talking about today. I did not expect to be making this video. But you may have heard by now in the latest Overwatch 2 update dev chat where they talked about Star Watch for the last 10 minutes or so. They talked about the future of the game and the fact that their original player versus environment vision that they had when they announced Overwatch 2 in 2019 is no longer going to be happening. There still will be PvE. There will be mission modes, story, and lore that will be in the game. Everyone is saying it's attached to the Battle Pass. I haven't heard or read anything official to that, but that would make sense because, I mean, you can't release all that content for free, I guess. Because this, the Battle Pass is the only way that this game makes money. Because Overwatch 1 was just too friendly to the player when you compare it to other games, as I went ad nauseum in previous games, because you get anything you wanted absolutely for free, consistently and very, very easily. So the change to the Battle Pass and shop mode and free-to-play model, while it has it's good and it's bad with it, it made a lot of sense. But now, the entire reason for Overwatch 2 as its own, the 2 part of Overwatch 2 is no longer justified because their original envisioned standalone campaign mode, a story mode for Overwatch 2, is no longer going to be existing in this original intended version. No more talent trees, no standalone version, story mode. They are now what looks like going to be small PvE missions, story-related, that have lore. Some canon, some non-canon, they said. Obviously, we have Star Watch right now, which is not canon. But I don't know if they're looking to expand on something bigger than that. But those will be added each season, I guess. Hopefully every season to keep that content flowing. But this was a train wreck. Obviously, this is not what we wanted, and while the developers were very honest in this, there are still things that they said without having to vocalize it. You can read between the lines, and if you know anything about game development, you'll know what I'm talking about. A lot of people think that they do. They do not, especially those people that tend to believe, oh, they came out with this trailer or this mode or this new character to squash the headline of this scandal. That is not how the universe works. That's not how time works. These things take a long time to make. They're planned out months and months and months and months ahead. You can't just push them up 3 months. You can't just make it in a weekend. That is absolute ludicrous bullshit. That is not how... Time is linear. That's not how things work. Those people are dumb. Obviously, the merger of Activision Blizzard probably didn't help. I don't know if it hurt it, but it didn't help it, and it probably hurt it, because this was a higher-up decision. This was an executive boardroom decision about a bunch of these, rich Johnny businessmen in a boardroom answering to nobody made this choice. This was not Aaron Keller's choice. This was not Team 4 and Overwatch team's choice, but they're going to get all the vitriol. They're going to get all the fire. They're going to get all the flame. They're going to get all the blame for this because people know what they look like. People know what their names are. They know what their handles are, their Twitter accounts are. So they're going to get the blame. They're going to ones that get the replies and the comments and the hate threats and the down votes on videos and stuff like that. That is where all the hate is going to go towards. But I can tell you, this is not what they wanted. If you watch what they said, and they had to put on a smile and spin it as positively as they could, but they were still honest. They still have bosses to answer to. They still want to keep their career and, keep the game healthy and in a positive light and be excited for what are things to come. Because there still will be PvE content, but it's not going to be as in-depth or as much as we would want it to be. And it's not what they wanted it to be. I can tell you it's not what they want it to be, because clearly a change was made between now and 2019 when we first saw the skill tree and saw all those new powers and the excitement. We had the Overwatch 2 trailer, and like, oh my gosh, the recall mission happened, and Genji came and saved the day, and Brig and Reinhardt came in, and Echo came back because Cassidy saved her, and it was awesome. And we were so excited for story because Overwatch 1 was such a huge cultural phenomenon, immediately became into the zeitgeist. We had Tracer, our super duper awesome ace pilot, funky, scrunkly little lesbian in a big blockbuster Steven Spielberg movie. She was in Ready Player One, like immediately. We had sitcoms talking about, someone's playing Overwatch. We had children on playgrounds not calling each other their normal bad names and slurs. They were calling each other Hanzo mains because that was a bad thing to be, and that was the worst thing they could think of calling somebody. And that's because people were playing Overwatch. It was the hot new shit, and it was unexpectedly successful. And that kind of hurt it a little bit because people wanted more. We want more because these characters were so well made. We got all the little interactions and the headcanons that we made in our, and like, oh man, what really happened? And each cinematic gave us a little bit of morsel about how things went down. And we got the, some of the comics, but then the comics got scrapped because then they had a new idea about how things were going to be, and now we're going to get a story mode finally in Overwatch 2 because that's what people wanted, because this game got super duper popular, more so than they possibly could have expected. And so like, all right, we're going to do that, but we're not going to be able to work on Overwatch 1 because we're working on Overwatch 2, so we're going to, Overwatch 1's going to hurt for it. And it's like, oh man, that really sucks, but hopefully it's going to be awesome. But then the Overwatch League owners pressured Blizzard because the views were going down. They lost the sponsorships because of the scandals and things like that, and it was no longer like the new hotness, and so views were going down. They wanted their investments to mean something. These billionaires that own all these major sports teams that bought slots for the Overwatch League, that changed competitive video gaming for team-based games forever, they pressured Blizzard into releasing Overwatch 2 to breathe life back into the league again. But they were still working on it, along with the PvE, and they had this whole like Diablo 3-esque Greater Rift system where the story mode was going to have all these missions, and it was going to be super replayable and all kinds of different ways to play because you have the skill trees and all these different skills and ways to interact with your teammates and stuff like that. It was going to be awesome, and I made that video why Overwatch 2's PvE is going to be the best part of the game. And that vision is no longer happening because corporate Johnny businessman, some dude on, these board members saw like, oh, our Q2 profits are blah, 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 the projections are blah, 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 blah. Those are the people, unfortunately, in charge, and I can guarantee you those are the people that made this decision. This was not Aaron Keller's fault. The Overwatch team didn't go, we spent all these years working on this PvE, and now we're just going to scrap it. Throw it in the recycle bin. Do you really think that's what happened? Do you really think they just like, oh yeah, these 5-6 years of work, we're just going to scrap it and give you a tinier version with scraps every single season? No, that's not what they envisioned. That's not what they had in mind, because they gave us that trailer. They showed us the skill trees. They showed us all these cool skills. Mei was a snowball, and she bowled into people. Ryan had a 360 shatter, a pulse bomb that spread everywhere, a portable healing station from Soldier that pulsed and pushed enemies away. We saw all these really, really cool ideas. We had all this idea of like what the story was going to be, the future of Overwatch and things like that, and new characters, and it was exciting. Do you think the plan was then to just go, nah, and then pull the rug from under us? No, that was not what happened. I can guarantee you guys that. People think they know how game devs work. I don't pretend to do, but I can at least echo what they have said, and I can look at the history. I've talked to plenty of devs in person, at panels, on conventions. We've seen plenty of live streams and interviews and scripted YouTube videos. You can see patterns, and you get to learn years later about like what actually went down and things that almost happened, stuff that was left on the cutting room floor. And unfortunately, we got to see this game so early in production because there was so much hype about Overwatch 1 that there was like, all right, we can capitalize on how much people love Overwatch's characters by making a sequel. They scrapped the comic books because they were like, okay, now we have a vision because people love this more than we thought that they would. So we're going to fast track this sequel, and we're going to have a story mode. But somewhere down the line, I'm gonna guess here, a year and a half ago, the corporate board members that make more money than Aaron Keller or anyone on the Overwatch team or any Overwatch, content creator out here made this really dumb decision and be like, oh no, if we're looking at our Q2 profits, we need more content to drive interactions, and the SEO says this, and our return on investment, blah, 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 blah. They told them that you need to ship something out now rather than later, because they said that the progress on the story mode was not what they had envisioned and had no definitive end in sight, because it was a grand thing that they were looking at doing with just look at the obviously we're concept, but look at the skill trees, all the possibilities that we could have had, and a story and a linear arc that we wanted. We're still going to get story-based events, we're going to get new story arc, and we're going to get lore, we're going to get interactions, we're going to get some of that, we're going to get co-op features, hero mastery missions, and limited time events. They showed a couple of those that were on the roadmap. We're still going to get PvE content. We don't know how much or in what capacity. And even if it's good, we know it could have been better. Because they probably cut their funding. They took people off of their team because COVID hurt every single, or at least changed how every single business operates now. A lot of companies, it really, really helped them. They get record profits. They go like Amazon, things like that. But obviously it hurt a lot of businesses as well. And late stage capitalism, man, monopolies buying everything up, and it's all about quarterly profits, and it's all about maximizing profit, and it has to be a record year every single year or people get fired and prices go up. That's every single giant business that you see on this planet. That is how they operate. And instead of making $8 billion in profit, they want to make 9. Record profits is not enough for them. They need to make new record profit, and the new record profit better be a larger jump than it was last year. If you made $5 billion and then $7 billion, guess what? $8 billion, someone's getting fired. Yeah, you made record profits, but the increase wasn't as big as it was the year before. There's 1,000 outside factors that contribute to this, but we don't care because we're Johnny businessmen. We have our golden parachutes in case anything goes wrong, and we don't have to answer to anybody but some shareholders and some investment bucks. And we're going to make these dumb decisions. We don't have, Steve or Susie common sense living in every boardroom going, hey, you're having Kylie Jenner give a Pepsi can to a cop and saying that solves racism. That's stupid. Don't do that. That person's not in the boardroom. There's nobody there to tell these people this stupid thing that you're thinking of doing is stupid, and don't do it because it's stupid and it's bad and it's dumb. We have a writer strike going on right now. It's cost the industry $10 billion and they're bleeding 30 million more every single day. It could have cost a small fraction of that to just pay the writers a living fucking wage, because things have gone downhill so much and all the different things like AI and things. It would have been so much smarter. It would have made so much more better business sense to just pay them. Instead, what are they doing? They're losing money every single day because of greed. They want everything. It's going to lose them money, but they don't care because it's all about short-term profits and their Q4 goals and things like that. And I can tell you that's exactly what happened here. This was not their vision. This is not what they wanted. This is what they were working on, and they were told, "Hey, you got to scrap this. You got to. We're going to fire this many people on your team. COVID this, and this project didn't do as well, and blah blah blah. Investments and money and capital gains tax, and all this crap. We're going to get a worse product. It's probably still going to be good. We're still going to get all the support for the Overwatch PvP that we've all come to." You could say that you can't fairly say that we were sold a lie, because A, this is free to play. It's free to play, free to download. Nobody has paid anything for this PvP mode, or for this PvE mode. Nobody's paid for it. And also, the plan was to give everybody this really cool PvE mode with story progression and a long arc that's continuously updated and super duper replayable and a skill tree and everything. That's what we wanted. That's what they were going to make. But somewhere down the line, COVID obviously didn't help. Production schedules and things like that, and diverting resources and ROIs. They said, we're pulling this. You have to put it out now because we need content and our investments here and there and blah, blah, blah. because that's what every single other company does, and that's what makes sense. Not that they sold us a lie. They had this grand scheme of promising all this just to pull the rug from under us. That's not what happened. That is not what happened. And it sucks that this is the timeline that we're living in, but that is the way things are, unfortunately. You know, that's just how companies operate. You take a look at what happened with DC, another example. Hey, Avengers is huge and successful and everybody loves it. We got to make the Justice League. But sir, we only have Superman and Wonder Woman movies out. We don't care. Put out the Justice League and then we'll figure out the rest later. Oops, it fucking sucked. Uh-oh. Yeah, because you counted your hens before the chickens fucked each other. I don't know what the saying is, but they screwed up. They tried to skip steps and make things successful. They fast-tracked it, and they didn't care about quality. They're just like, oh, we gotta do what the competition, we gotta do what they're doing. We don't want to do it the same way that they did. We have to do it faster and better, and the quarterly profits and earnings, and we're mergers. That's where their head is, and out comes crap. And then they have to reshuffle and hire someone else to blow it up and then start from scratch. We're not going to get that in Overwatch 2. That awesome system that they were building. People are saying, oh, hopefully that turns into a different game because, you know, Overwatch was a failure of Project Titan. So, hey, copium. Man, I hope so, but probably not. We don't get to see usually what's on the cutting room floor for big video games like this, of like what could have been. Oh, that main character was going to be this, or we're going to have this story, we're going to have this character come back, or we're going to have this mechanic or this side game. Usually we don't get to see that, but unfortunately in this case we did. We got to see ingredients of what could have been a really great meal, but instead we're going to get a smaller fast food meal, which could still be good, but not as good as that gourmet meal that we saw them starting to cook in 2019. And obviously they started cooking it before then. But that really sucks. A lot of bad business decisions were made because they wanted short-term goals and profits to be met. And these are the things that are caught in the crossfire. These are the casualties, unfortunately. So it sucks. And I really wish this wasn't the case. We still will be getting content, PvE related, lore related. We're still going to get all the PvP content that we had been getting, and still, those early misconceptions that, oh, Overwatch 2 is going to be a pay-to-win game. Where are those people now? Where are those people now? I didn't buy the Battle Pass this season, and I still unlocked Lifeweaver way before he was available in comp, and I learned him, and I got good at him, and I was able to play him in comp day one without paying a dime. Where are those people saying, oh, pay to play, pay to win? Oh, this aged well on my early videos. You know what? It actually did, because you were wrong. So there's always going to be those people. Oh, this was because of this scandal. And you're wrong, and that's fine. This wasn't like some grand scheme of theirs to just make us upset and downvote and stop playing the game. This was a business decision made over their heads, and it really sucks. But that is the reality of things, unfortunately. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. All right, see you later.